Welcome back to Keksi Society. Today we will be watching Veer Dark talk about Sony kills off physical anime. Crunchyroll cuts stock as physical game death. Backlash continues. Let's watch.
Sony has been getting hammered on social media ever since they announced they were killing off physical games, and now it looks like anime fans are going to have a problem as well because the Sony-owned Crunchyroll is now kneecapping physical anime sales.
Boo. I like owning my anime, especially when it you can have the raws. I know that it's not the best, but you can just listen to it raw without the subtitles if you own the DVDs. So that's the nice thing about it. Worst case, you can just watch raw. And then there are plugins so if you have the raw files, you can plug in extensions and stuff, and you can actually have AI will translate it for you. So
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we knew that this was always going to be a slippery slope. As soon as one company does something, every company pushes for it. It was like with GTA 6, we were all curious if it was going to be $100 standard edition, and now that we know it's 80, I'm sure a lot of companies are going to push that as well.
Jeez.
Some of them, like Xbox, had already tried that. It didn't work, so they reverted, but they're probably going to do it again. That's going to be the standard.
yeah, because
And
they
when
can do it
we
with
had
one game. Why
heard
can't they
that
do it
it
with
was
other
going
games,
to be a
especially with the
code
bigger
in a
titles?
box instead of a disc, we knew that things were looking bad. Sony then announced that they were going to be killing off physical games starting in 2028.
I still don't approve of that, by the way. It's not my place, right? Especially since I'm not really in the gaming sphere. But I think physical media is very important to keep. It's like books and stuff. You want to be able to keep it and not rewrite it, change it, and make it so that it becomes something like a Mandela effect, right? We all grew up with this, but it's not actually what it is. Well, I guess nowadays, though, because you know that they can change it and they actually admit to changing it. But then again, they rewrite history, they might admit that they might say that they didn't change it. Who are you to tell us that we changed it? It was always this way.
And people have been destroying them ever since, and anime fans are not safe from this. Of course, when we are talking about Blu-rays, and we are talking about books, and we are actually talking about cassettes and even vinyls, physical media has been seeing an increase in sales over the past 3 years, but it's still not enough for these companies to actually listen to us. The best thing we can do is fight back on social media, and gamers definitely are, and anime fans are going to be as well. So this is a GameSpot article. It says, if you watch anime regularly, you are certainly aware of Crunchyroll, a subscription streaming service owned by Sony that delivers many new and classic anime series to audiences across the globe. A few years ago, when the Funimation Crunchyroll merger happened, it was a very bad look because while there are alternatives to Crunchyroll like High Dive and even Netflix and Hulu have anime series that they put up, Sony basically has an anime monopoly in the West, and they feel like they can do whatever they want, and they definitely are trying. It's the biggest name in that space, regularly beating out Netflix and Amazon for rights to stream the medium's biggest hits. It's also got an online store where you can buy your favorite anime on.
Not anymore. You have to pay to be access this. That is so ridiculous, by the way. You have to pay to access a store. Where are we going? What are we doing? Is this what we want for society? To pay to the privilege of accessing merch? You want physical stuff? You gotta pay for the privilege of owning physical stuff. Are we serious right now?
On physical media, which many devoted fans do since streaming rights to shows can and do frequently expire. However, in a move that has familiar echoes to Sony's decision to end production of PlayStation game discs, the Crunchyroll store is being severely scaled back, and fans of anime on disc are very unhappy. So, here is some background. In 2023, Crunchyroll purchased the Right Stuff International, an Iowa-based online retailer of anime DVDs, Blu-rays, manga, and merchandise to bolster their sales and merchandising presence, right?
Well, clearly they didn't really care about that. I wonder if that was part of their 2023, 3 years. They might have actually had this, in play And looking at the way that it's set up, it might actually be that way because they slowly are like, well, we can make more games or without the physical copies. We can start encouraging more online sales. We don't have to produce the extra cost of, the game discs and the being able to write on those discs, being able to get the cases and pay for the covers and the art and everything like that, right? Like you have to pay for all that printing cost and all that extra stuff. It is extra cost. So it is in some ways beneficial to them to keep some of that behind so they don't have to pay as much. But then they're charging you the same amount. So what are we actually paying for with this extra stuff? Because at least when we had the physical discs, maybe costing a little extra makes sense, right? Like we have the disc and it was printed on there. There was a lot that went into it in order for you to get your physical copy. So there was maybe a little bit of cost to that, but now they're adding extra money and it's like HR departments instead of a physical disc, or it's like DEI subcontractors. Oh, they like hire DEI subcontractors and then they expect you to pay for the cost, and we don't like that stuff in our games, and that's what people are pushing back. It's like we're paying more, we're getting less, and we're getting not as interesting games. So the more they push this stuff, the more people are going to be like, well, retro games. There's retro game shops everywhere. Like with my physical media stuff, I don't have a fear of it being lost or overwritten or any like weird glitch that wasn't on me. Like if I scratched my DVD, that's on me. It sucks, but I did it at least. Like it was my fault. But like if you scratched my DVD, you did it. It's your fault. Go buy me a new one. But you won't. They won't. The companies won't. So
stuff was folded into the Crunchyroll store, where it continued to be a source of physical anime media, offering discs of not just Crunchyroll licensed anime, but also shows and films from a wide variety of licensors. Unfortunately, it seems that time of the Crunchyroll store being a massive anime retail store with a broad selection open to all is coming to a close. According to a recent statement and FAQ posted online, the store will be dropping much of its current stock and transitioning to a brand new shopping experience that will be available exclusively for Mega and Ultimate fans subscription tier. So you have to be a subscriber to even access this now. And instead of physical discs, the Crunchyroll store will focus on collectibles, curated drops, and limited release products inspired by the anime series you love and love.
So you're not even getting your niche anime, you're getting this popular series is going to sell more merch. So we're going to charge you for the privilege of buying an very common mainstream anime merch, which is confusing to me because we have the entire internet. So why would anyone do that when you could literally just go on other websites and get merch from Japan? Like it's going to take a little bit longer maybe because it's not from Iowa, but I mean, it makes more sense to do it that way. Maybe more people trust not to get ripped off or scammed through Crunchyroll. Should we trust not to be ripped off or scammed through Crunchyroll, though? I wonder about that.
Luckily, reactions online have been swift and angry, which you love to see happening because this is absolutely insane. We knew that all of these companies were going to push towards that all digital future that they've wanted, but we didn't know that it was going to happen.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. No, we're not. Oh my gosh, 2030 is just around the corner, isn't it? We can't let that win.
This quickly, and they are ignoring our feedback and ignoring our criticisms. And I understand from a business point of view why they would want to do this, because it means they do not have to produce, ship, and store items. If Best Buy is selling a game, then they don't have to give the development studio and also that store their cuts. If you can just go to the PlayStation store and buy a copy of a game, Sony is making the maximum amount of profit per copy sold. But the issue with all of this is that they are straight up lying to push their narrative that most people buy digital anyway. So here's an article on this 85% figure, which, yes, it is very obvious that a lot of people do buy digital. It is fast, it is convenient, it is easy. You do not have to pre-order a physical copy. You don't have to go out of your home. If you see something on social media, you can buy it 2 minutes later if you think that it looks cool, which does lead to more sales. But this 85% figure that was previously touted is not the full picture, because thanks to the 2023 Insomniac Games data leak, we have Sony's internal physical versus digital splits for its first-party games, and they show that most PlayStation tentpole titles sold majority physical. God of War Ragnarok was 76% physical, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is 54% physical, Ghost of Tsushima was 51% physical, and Uncharted 4 was an estimated 83% physical. And yes, this is from a couple of years ago, but it still highlights that internally they acknowledged that physical was dominating for their tentpole titles, and that is a very important piece of information to put out there, because they're not talking about this. They are not actually acknowledging that this is the case now.
Well, they don't want to. Of course, like, more expensive games, more expensive, like, and less expense on the company. Like, of course they're gonna do that. Why wouldn't they do that? That's what they want. So of course they're gonna hide this stuff from you guys. But it also makes sense why people who own PlayStations and consoles, we grew up with the consoles, and of course we want the physical media because that's what we grew up with. We like the feeling of the controller in our hand and put it in the disc and hearing the startup noise from it loading. We like knowing that we have a local copy of our save file, right? It's not somewhere in a cloud.
Maybe their numbers are different now because they've tried to push digital-only consoles over the past couple of years. Like, look at the PS5 Pro. They could say, oh, 100% of the games sold on that were digital, even though there is a attachable disk drive to it. But they still have a lot of people that want to buy physical. And a big issue with them also killing off physical media and ultimately killing off disk drives on the next PlayStation, which is the PS6, is that this also does hurt movies and TV shows, and it does hurt moviegoers, because most people now are not buying Blu-ray players. Yes, in 2025, about $2 billion worth of Blu-ray players were sold, but a lot of people are just using their console to play that media. That was another big selling point, is, oh, you can just have one console in your family's living room. The adults can enjoy their movies and shows, and the kids can enjoy their video games. This is a big family-focused entertainment device. But now that's not going to be the case. And we know that these companies want ultimate power and control. They want to monitor everything that you do. They want to track your spending habits. It's no shocker to see that this is what they want to do. But luckily, we are going to fight back against this as much as possible. Every single post that the official PlayStation account has been putting up.
I've heard that every single post is getting bombarded to the point where advertisers are... No, people who bought ads from to like advertise their game on the official PlayStation Twitter are like upset about of games being attacked because of how Sony handled the situation with the physical disc release, because now they're getting attacked and they don't want to be attacked. They want to just sell their games. That's why they bought the ads on there. They thought that it was a safe place to advertise and a good place to get the word out for their new games. But now it's just like, why are we being attacked for something that you did? So it's not advertising their game. It's just a constant like bombardment of negativity on on an indie developer or something that this company, this indie developer, has nothing to do with.
community noted and ratioed. Look at this one from 23 hours ago. 844,000 views, 2K likes to 5.6K comments. This one from Oddsy, which was reposted by PlayStation, 270 likes to 618 comments. Castlevania Belmont's Curse, 2.3K likes to 5.9K comments. It is brutal out there for Sony. And now we also have the anime sales angle. Sony trying to win the award for quickest to make their customers hate them lately. This evil man is destroying every part of the company. Oh no, F discs and F your childish feelings. This person's getting completely ratioed, which you love to see it happening. God damn, F this company, man, full of evil, worse than Xbox. eBay listings for Black Lagoon after Crunchyroll removed it. And yes, this is going to be another big problem because you are not going to be able to get physical media anymore. So that means all the physical media that exists is going to skyrocket in price because in 10 years, right, there's not going to be any more physical media. As I had mentioned, luckily, there are different physical mediums that have been on the up and up, like books, like cassettes, like vinyls, even like movies, though it's not going to be enough for these companies like Xbox and Sony to change their minds. I hope that some of them, like Nintendo, actually hold their ground. I know game key cards are not the best, but at least you have a physical item that you can sell and you can give to other people. So, you know, I at least enjoy that element. But yeah, I know there's been a little bit of speculation that maybe Xbox is going to change their mind about Helix. I think it's very obvious that it is already a design console, but they could potentially delay it and take a step back and alter their plans. Sony could, in theory, as well. These are companies that are making.
I have a question though. Like, I grew up with consoles, so I don't understand why people are buying consoles when they're basically just computers now. The last console that we bought was a Switch, but they still have the physical games. So I don't understand why people would buy what is essentially just a computer. You could just buy a tablet or a gaming PC or something, and it's easier to take with you places. So maybe I'm not understanding something, but why? Because there's Xbox. You can get Xbox on your computer, right?
Making tens of billions of dollars off of the video game industry every single year. Sony is the #1 in the industry, so they could change their minds if they truly wanted to, but will they? It's hard to say. They haven't really acknowledged the backlash that they are facing, and I think that they're hoping that it's going to blow over, but when we find out that, oh yeah, it's not just video games, but it's also going to be things like physical anime sales, that means even more people now get to attack you and call you out. And always keep this stat in mind: 4 in 10 Americans have abandoned physical media, which does suck, but that still means that the majority of people have not abandoned physical media and still want to use physical media. So I will be covering Sony more in the future. Fuck Sony. Fuck PlayStation. Fuck killing off physical games. And hey, if buying isn't owning, pirating isn't stealing. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
Yeah, she talked a lot more about games. I get that's her specialty, right? Like I was kind of more interested in the anime side of it, but it is true. Like it's all connected. It's all Sony. It's all, like she said, it's all for control. At the end of the day, they just want to be able to say, well, this was good in the olden days, but it's problematic now. Or they want to be able to say, like, oh, we can change things here. We can upgrade it here. We don't have to give you the full thing now. It's kind of interesting too when you think about it in terms of how they handle video game launches, because they don't give you the full game a lot of the time. It's like with like indie developers and stuff, they'll give you like a chapter or like there's a bunch of DLC or whatever. So I find it very interesting that in the future there's a possibility that you could buy an anime that has a DLC. I don't want anime that have DLC. Like, if you want to, I mean, I guess you could do like a choose your own adventure. You have the like shorts and stuff too. There's a lot to chew on there because they could essentially make video games and anime and stuff like that. Man, you wouldn't even buy a season. You could buy individual episodes. I don't like this. I don't like where my brain is going and thinking about all the possibilities of how they could like not how they can make more money in the future by keeping going down these roads that they're going down. I don't want them to go down those roads because it's literally just like, well, how do we make more money and how can we make it less content or less interesting? Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you have a good day. Bye.